What's good, y'all? We back. Another video, MindOfReese YouTube channel. First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to the dudes, to the little bros, the little cousins, the little homies, and the Through the Wire group chat. They were having discussions, and I was like, wow, this will make for a great YouTube video. Here we are. So, as you read from the title, this video, I'm just going to be giving my opinion. I want to preface this right now. This is my opinion. This is my view of things. I am not a basketball expert, not an NBA player. Never played professionally. I never played organized basketball past high school. So never went to college to play basketball, anything. Just my opinion, my take. After the video, I'll ask for yours. You put it in the comments. I want it to be known. My word is not final. My word is not Bible. Any of that. Okay? Let's get into it. So, what is a defensive anchor? I saw, it was a poll on Twitter that said, does a defensive anchor have to be a big? And my response was, no, it doesn't have to be a big, but it's never really a guard. And there was a discussion in the Through Wire chat of why that is, if a guard can be a defensive anchor on a basketball team. And me personally, it's a rare occasion. I don't think a guard can be a defensive anchor. You can have a lockdown player at the guard position, the one or two, maybe the two, depending on how big they are. It's very possible. But point guard, you got guys like, Gary Payton, who you could argue is a defensive anchor, but most guards, especially point guards and small guards, are not defensive anchors on the team. Is it always the big? No, not necessarily, but more often than not it is. And why is that? Well, first we would have to get into my definition of a defensive anchor. Maybe everyone has their own definition. Mine is a player extremely elite at defense who can hold down the defense on the team without the teammates on the court having to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not Stephen A. Smith. Good or very good at defense. And that's just like, that's the Dr. Seuss version. But the first team that comes to mind is the Utah Jazz. A lot of people who don't know basketball say Rudy Gobert, he doesn't do anything, he's just tall. Well, if that was the case, every person in the league who's 7 feet will be able to do what he does, but they can't. He won Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. And this is also why I tell people Donovan Mitchell, while you can argue he might be the best player on the team, he's probably not the most important player on that team. I think that goes to Rudy Gobert, and I think what he does really goes under recognized amongst basketball fans, mainly casuals. What Rudy changes an entire offense, and it allows the players on the perimeter to play more relaxed. When you have a guy like Donovan Mitchell who's not necessarily carrying a whole load on offense to where, he can't rely on anyone else, but he is your go-to guy on offense. The fact that, sure, he's going to put in effort and play defense on the other end, but he doesn't have to stress himself and push himself too hard on the perimeter playing defense because he knows if you get past me, you got to see big man down in the paint. And Rudy Gobert, whether he's blocking shots or changing shots, puts fear into the heart of most perimeter players driving to the paint. And more than likely, he's going to change their shot. More than likely, he's going to affect the outcome of their shot. More than likely, it's going to result in a miss. There haven't really been too many players who weren't bigs that were defensive anchors on the team. Someone in the chat has said, what about Ron Artest on the Lakers? I said I disagree because Ron Artest was much older at that age and wasn't, as athletically gifted as he once was. I mentioned the Ron Artest on the Pacers or maybe the Kings. maybe the Bulls as well. Younger Ron Artest, yes, I definitely consider him a defensive anchor because while you can still put him on the best player and say, hey, go shut this guy down, that wasn't all he was able to do. Ron Artest could guard power forwards. Maybe some centers, not most centers. Ron Artest could guard power forwards. Ron Artest could guard small forwards. Ron Artest could guard shooting guards. Ron Artest could guard point guards. And there's not really many players in the league who, well, there are now, but back then there weren't. Now they're, defenders are more versatile, a la Draymond Green, who also is a defensive anchor, in my opinion, considering the way he moves around on the floor on defense, plays on defense, helps on defense, is able to guard 1 through 4, 1 through 5. And a lot of people say, hey, this guy could guard, this guy can defend 1 through 4, 1 through 5, but they don't really do it. So saying, hey, LeBron could guard 1 through 5, but you don't see LeBron guarding 1 through 5. So why are we even saying it? We see Draymond Green guarding every single player on the court. Ben Simmons, who isn't a defensive anchor, can guard every player on the court. Someone brought up a Marcus Smart. I said no. Marcus Smart is a great defender, but I don't believe he's a defensive anchor. Drew Holiday, I don't believe is a defensive anchor. Elite defender, probably the best in the league. Not a defensive anchor. I don't believe he can change the quality of a defense on his own, an entire team's defense. That's why I say it's more than likely a big, not necessarily a small guard, because a lot of big wings can defend the paint as well, especially these athletic wings. Granted, when I say defend the paint, I don't just mean blocking shots. So if you see a player who only averages 1 block per game or 2 blocks per game, it doesn't necessarily, well, 2 blocks per game is a lot. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can't defend the paint, that they can't hold down the paint, that they can't anchor the paint. Tyson Chandler, great defender, defensive anchor for the Mavericks. His defense changed that entire team. When we lost him, we saw the effects of it. When he went to New York, you see how he changed the team and won Defensive Player of the Year immediately. And granted, not all bigs who are really good defenders are defensive anchors. Brook Lopez, for his time with the Bucks, that 1 or 2 year stretch where he was playing incredible defense, blocking shots, he wasn't a defensive anchor. I believe Giannis is a defensive anchor. Giannis is about 7 foot tall with the wingspan of a dragon and can play defense all over the court. Now, would you put Giannis on a point guard? Probably not. But I guarantee you, a point, if someone's defended by fucking Dante DiVincenzo, someone's defended by Dante DiVincenzo, and you blow past Dante DiVincenzo, Giannis may not even be in the paint, but you're looking for where Giannis is on the court because Giannis can cover ground extremely fast in a small frame of time. And now your shot is in the bleachers. If I had to, this is off the top of my head. None of this is like, I didn't write any script down or anything. All this is off the top of the head. I just wanted to get this out. But if I had to make a list of players in the league that I thought were defensive anchors, so to speak, I would say Anthony Davis, Giannis, Rudy Gobert, Kawhi Leonard, I think Bam Adebayo is getting to that point, but I don't think he's there yet. But he's still young. He's under 25 years old. He still has the opportunity to. Like I said, off the top of my head, that's a short list. There's probably some people I'm missing. So if there's some people that I didn't mention on that list, please put it in the comments. Another thing, the last thing. Just because a team is great defensively doesn't mean they have a defensive anchor. It's almost like It's like quarterback in the NFL. A team has a quarterback. He's the starting quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. They win games, but that doesn't make him a franchise quarterback based on talent and ability alone. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like I'm making sense. Let me know if I'm not making sense, but I feel like I'm making sense. For instance, when in the chat we brought up the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns are a very, very, very good defensive team. Do not have a defensive anchor. Javon Carter's a great defender. Chris Paul's a great defender. Mikal Bridges is a great defender. Dario Saric is an underrated defender. Jay Crowder's a very good defender. But they don't have a single defensive anchor on the team. They're just collectively as a team great at defense, and they work well together. That's just called good team defense, which a lot of teams have. But that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, since we have a good team defensively, whoever our best defender is has to be the defensive anchor. Just not the way it goes, with me at least. Let me know what you think. I just want to, I like getting discussions like this started. There's going to be a lot of these on the channel, a lot of basketball discussions like this, some things that come in my head. I'll be having a discussion right here, and I'll say, hey, boom, let's put it on video. Let's see what the people say. So in the comments, let me know, what is your opinion? What do you think a defensive anchor is? Do you think a guard can be a defensive anchor? Who are the defensive anchors in the league in your opinion? Like I said, let me know if I missed anybody. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video. If you didn't like the video, like the video anyway. Yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when these basketball talks are coming. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.